Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we are taking a look at the Siege of Luccini. And so this is an amazing custom map made in the map editor. And you can find it under the Siege of Luccini in the workshop. And it is an amazing map. And today the dwarves are going to be holding this elvish city that they took in the War of the Beard. And they're going to be defending it against their arch nemesis, the Greenskins. And so I'm playing this with a wonderful guy that I met, wonderful individual that I met, wordbearer, and he will be defending this city. Kind of the scenario here is we're both on large armies, ultra funds, but he has to defend the whole city. And so the whole city for him, I guess as dwarves without a lot of mobility, means that one bridge over here, one entrance over here, um, there's another bridge there, and one there. And so to kind of even it out, I get to throw all my money at the entrance, but he can't have all of his money there. He has to have some units defending this final hill to kind of make a more cinematic and a little bit more fair matchup. Just because he's spending the same amount, but I have some pretty vicious choke points I'm going to be fighting my way through as the Greenskins. And you can see that this city is not just walls. It is open areas, and it has farmland and roads and graveyards to fight over. There's two vanguard deployable areas over on these kind of pieces of land where you can kind of sneak some goblins or something around here. But luckily I did not put any over here because you can see he kind of has a force defending each one. But yeah, you can see here lots of personality, lots of farms, the giant church. There's even this like small courtyard that can only be reached through here. So I love this. This is a nice use of terrain without making just another hill to defend. They use kind of the houses here as walls, and you can kind of have like a defense here in the middle. But yeah, there's a ton you can do on this map, tons of places to defend, tons of strategy for the defenders. You can see here he's got this like these lines of defense coming off of this entrance. And so I'm going to have a very hard time here punching through. And so I'm just going to give you a quick view here of all the entrances. And there's one over here. So you can see very small. It's going to be very hard to push through. Yeah, and so this was probably the most fun battle. I've been trying to get a lot of custom battles, but usually they're very one-sided, either for the defenders or for the attackers, and I'm still trying to get a feel out for like how much money each person should spend, what the rules should be, and also like, you know, it's just multiplayer in Warhammer. People are going to bring cheese armies. It's just what's going to happen. So hopefully we get a couple of really fun ones like this that I can show you guys. But I will start going over the army comps. I'm going to start with my forces here. Leading this charge, I have Grimgor. Great, because of his armor-piercing damage. That's why I brought him. He has an Orc Shaman here. I have Foot of Gork to like disrupt formations, really, is what I'm going to use that guy for. In front, I have the Apex Loonies, the Unbreakable units. I have some Armor Sundering for the Warlord's Boys, and some Armor Sundering here in the form of the Rusty Heirs. And so that's kind of the idea behind this side of the army, is do some Armor Sundering, and then get at these guys with my Savage Orcs. With their reduced armor, they're going to do a little bit better. I also have 3 Nasty Skulkers behind them, 1 unit of Trolls, because my money permitted. And we have an Ragnarok Queen here. And so that's going to be this side. The other 3 sides, I have the same force on each one. I have a Goblin Big Boss for leadership, 2 Nasty Skulkers, a Savage Orc, a Night Goblin Archer, and a Ragnarok Spider. And so my rationality here about also putting these 3 Black Orcs on each side was that Grimgor is a excessively powerful lord, so he's going to be able to push through with the mage on that side. But these sides might have more of a problem, so I put some heavy-hitting really powerful infantry here to kind of support each one of these sides because they're going to be lacking. And so you can see we'll pop over here, same thing, and we'll pop over here, same thing. And so these black orcs are going to be critical if I'm going to be able to win this battle. I'm going to need their armor-piercing damage for when I assault that final hill. So now I guess we'll start over here and we'll go in a big circle to talk about the dwarven artillery. The dwarven army. He's got 2 rangers with great weapons here, great armor-piercing damage. They're going to be really good for taking out the Ragnarok spider. He has 2 gyrocopters without brimstone guns. So better against like my savage orcs, but is going to suffer against my black orcs or my Ragnarok spider. Defending this main point, he's got a cannon with a nice overview here of the entrance. 1 quarreler in front of that. He's got just the Longbeards and then the Grumbling Guard with the Thane in support, holding this small little choke point. Over here, he has the bulk of his funds. This is kind of like his main defense. He's got a Grudge Thrower and a Thunderer here as a final fallback point. He's got some Quarrelers, I think he has 3 Longbeards with great weapons. He's got 2 units of just regular Longbeards, a Thane, Quarrelers, Flame Cannon, Organ Gun, Flame Cannon, Slayers. So, just look at this. Imagine running up here, just seeing all the artillery arrayed against you, all the heavily armored dwarves, and this just does not look good. This is not going to bode well for my relatively small but elite force over here. Next, we have this kind of smaller defense, more of a holding force than anything else. He's got 2 units of Longbeards, 1 at each of these entrances, and 1 Slayer. So the interesting thing about this is you can't deploy units over here. You have to deploy them in the walls. So this is kind of like one of the weaker spots for the greenskins to push through in this map. Over here, he does have Longbeard with another Thane, so he's got a Thane at each side. I really love that. That's a great use of heroes. He's got some Thunderers here to shoot spiders and black orcs. He's got an Organ Gun up this alley, or a Flame Cannon up this alley, and an Organ Gun over here. And I love this nice separation of the artillery. It's going to mean I'm going to have to choose which one I want to go after. So that's going to be tough, but definitely with Grimgore we can smash through that. Up here we have, actually we'll save the final defense for later. Over here we have 2 Rangers. So this is kind of another Vanguard deployed force to lock down anybody I put over here. He's got 2 Rangers, both shoved up, and a Nordgrimling's Ironbreakers. 1,500 gold unit, definitely going to have to watch out for these guys. Especially if they make it to the late game. Up here he has the Gate Guard Hammerers, tons of armor piercing damage, tons of armor sundering. He's got 2 just units of Quarrelers, and he's got 2 cannons up here on Overwatch. And to afford all this, he skimped out a little bit and just got a regular Dwarf Lord. So this is going to get off to a pretty slow start. I'm going to be poking at him with all of my Night Goblin archers. And on this side, the Rustiers are going to run up here and start shooting into this Longbeard. You can see also up here, I'm going to be poking with my Night Goblin archers. They're really not going to do much. I kind of just wanted some ranged troops to not be completely defenseless to rangers or to any of those things that could really tie down a choke point. Up here you can see my volleys coming in. They're not going to be doing too well here, but they are dropping a couple of models. The armor sundering is not horrible. Wow, it's actually doing pretty well. Any damage I can do here for free is damage I need to deal now. Because this is going to be a hard, tough, long fight. And, you know, anything I can do now is definitely worth it. Dropped him to 89 models, took out a good chunk of health there. You can see on this side, I'm pushing really fast with all my troops, splitting them up. But the Black Orcs are just so slow. And that is going to be a theme in this battle. black orcs are slow. Up here, my night goblins are still plucking away. Maybe. Can you guys fire? No. They've realized it's useless. We'll be crashing through there pretty soon. Over here, this is the first melee engagement of the night. Longbeard, this Ragnarok Spider is going to get into these Longbeards. And she's going to do very, very well. But over there, you can see, you kind of get in the perspective of the spider here. Send indoors flying. Over there, you can see Slayers moving up. So that's definitely going to be something I don't want my spider to be dealing with. As I munch on some dwarves, I'm going to be pulling her out and replacing her with some nasty skulkers. I think I dropped a foot of Gorka on these guys. So he moved them to a nice protective area. And I'm going to start moving up. Over here, I've just engaged kind of like a mass charge. My nasty skulkers are going to be the first ones in. Kind of meat shielding for my black orcs. We'll let the black orcs charge, see how they do. Cannons firing in is not going to be too good for me. But these Longbeards are not going to do very well against these black orcs. Over here, my night goblins got a little too brave. And you can see they were broken almost instantly when they got in the range from all of that artillery just waiting for us over here. It would have been probably a good idea to wait with this side of my army, but greenskins don't do that. And so we're just going to be charging. Over here you can see I'm slowly working my way through the Longbeards and the Slayers. And on this side my spider is digging in. I really need to push her over here to maybe the organ gun or something. But there's so much going on right now that it's hard to find the seconds to micro this. As the flame cannon comes in and does just an incredible amount of damage there to my savage orcs. Oh man, in between the organ gun, the flame cannon, and these thunders, my spider is going to take a beating. And why I'm not summoning spiders is I can't. I have a full 40 slot army, and so it's not possible to raise any spiders right now. Simply because I don't have enough slots. Over here you can see my spider broke through the coilers. The gyrocopters are flanking around, and I'm slowly breaking my way through this force. But I was simply taking too much damage from the cannons and the coilers. I had to get in here with my spider. Good thing he's not shooting at my spider right now. He could be doing a ton of damage. But again, there's just so much to micro, it's hard to find the precious seconds. Over here, the battle has engaged, and my spider is going to be taking some significant fire from all these ranged troops. And you can see this battle is just not going very well for me. I am slowly working my way through these Longbeards, but they have such incredible leadership. We're going to be there for a long time. You can see even here, I just broke these guys. And how many units do I have here? But you know, trading pretty cost effectively here on this side, but not so much on that main bridge side. Here my nasty skulkers are out. And I finally took out that organ gun, but took a ton of damage here on my queen. So I can't have that if I want to be in this game later. You can see misclick here. These thunderers are chasing my spider, so they're going to just walk straight into my nasty skulkers and be eaten alive here. Far on this side, there's just so much going on. He pulls the Grumbling Guard out of that combat and is going to engage them with the spider. And he has these rangers with great weapons and close support. But again, this is just an unfortunate clump of trees here. And it's going to be blocking a lot of those shots, but even still is going to be doing a ton of damage here. So I'm not using my spiders very well this battle. And they're definitely a focal point for enemy fire, which, you know, might be worth it. Over here, I'm finally going to break through. My spider's already exhausted, is going to be coming up and eating some of these. What are you shooting at? Eating some of these coilers for breakfast. Oh man, so yeah, here we go. I finally finished off this Thane. I'm finishing off these Thunderers. There goes the flame cannon. And actually, I'm going to make a big mistake here. My Orc Shaman is going to be auto-chasing these flame cannons, and he's going to get perfectly in range for these cannons, and he's going to take a ton of damage when he really didn't need to. Same thing is going to happen with my spider here, so definitely got to be on top of that in a battle like this. Let's go hop over here. You can see here, finally cleaning up the dwarves. Going to get a nice rear charge into the back. Maybe. I need to rear charge these guys into the back of the Grumbling Guard, and just try and finish up this flank. You can see finally breaking through the Thane. And over here I've pushed through. My Black Orcs are chasing some Thunderers, and actually I think they're going to catch him here in a second. Because he doesn't have them on skirmish, he just moved them away. And so I'm actually going to catch them here in a second. And you can see this side is pretty much dissolved. I really only have Black Orcs left, and not that many. And the only thing keeping them in the fight is this Goblin Big Boss. Yeah, here you can see, great catch here. Going to be doing a ton of damage to these guys. Over here, we're stuck on these coilers. So we're taking damage for really... This is just taking too long. These troops are supposed to come help this main fight, but this main fight is already over. Up here you can see me taking all that damage. Definitely not what I want here. Foot of Orcs are going to be hugely important when assaulting this hill later on. Up here you can see his forces kind of pulling back. I did catch his rangers with my melee troops, so that's going to be good. But my spider is going to be run off by these gyrocopters. So great use of these guys, using them to run off and shatter very important creatures that would otherwise come back pretty reliably. Over here you can see, there goes once my Goblin Big Boss goes, this entire side is going to go. And it's going to be a nice chain route there of some very expensive units. You can see I did a lot of damage to his main line, but I didn't catch any of his artillery. Luckily it is starting to run out of ammo. And of course, right as my men break, my spider is going to come in here. And oh man, I definitely should have waited to bring this guy in. So he's going to start taking some fire from coilers, from thunderers, from organ guns, and their reinforcement dwarves, flame cannons. Oh man, this is a very expensive unit. But you can see there, I did take that was a unit with a ton of ammo, so getting that guy off the field is very, very important. But even a flame cannon is much cheaper than a spider, so I'm not sure if I'm trading too cost effectively there. Just sent that Thane flying, some Savage Orc being blown up. So this is just kind of not good all around. You can see here, this Grimgor's force is coming. They're just so slow. And over here, my troops are finishing off the rest of the rangers. And then they'll be moving down through the farms, through the graveyards. They're definitely going to need a bigger graveyard now. This guy, what are they called? Grudge Thrower, still taking shots at my slayers, at my Black Orcs, and these slayers chasing off my Goblin Big Boss. And you can see just how quickly this spider dropped a ton of hit points. That flame cannon I don't think is going to come back. But my Savage Orcs getting into some Grumbling Guard, they're going to get destroyed by Grumbling Guard unsupported. So definitely not the kind of engagements I want. Black Orcs here taking them on, but they really have no support here, which is not good either. And they have a wonderful flame cannon. Oh, this flame... Oh, no. Oh, yeah, here. They are moving back, so they're getting a better position. You can see the Thunderer's nice firing angle on the Spider, doing a ton of damage. Really need to get in this organ gun, but I'm just not able to. I don't have enough troops, and I came out here too unsupported. And so this Spider is going to take just a beating. Came in here with mostly full health, and is going to be broken here. You can see Grimgor still all the way over here, has a long way to go until we can get to this fight. All that artillery coming in. Oh, just a devastating shot on the Black Orcs there. And there we go, she breaks. She does have a chevron though, so that is something. Night Goblin archers took a bit of flame cannon damage there, and that's all it's going to really take to send them routing. Goblin Big Boss over here going to be soloed out by Longbeards, and Goblin Big Bosses are not very good. And so he's going to do a great strategic thing here. He's going to be falling back his troops to kind of this choke point again. So he's going to have me fight through a choke point and then go to the other side of the choke point and have me fight through that as well. So, just flame cannon shots coming in here, wrecking my poor Blackworks. Sent the... Oh no, that was Thane jumping. Oh god. And see, that's why the flame cannon is so good. Huge area of effect there. And even though most of them are going to get back up, it's just going to do so much HP damage, which is going to allow something that otherwise would die fantastically, the Longbeards, to do better. My Rusty Heirs, shot his own guys in the back there, are going to be shooting into these Longbeards with great weapons, and they're actually going to do pretty good there. Between their armor sundering and the lack of shields, they're going to... Oh man, definitely got to watch that friendly fire there. But you can see finally Grimgore is catching up. So this side of the base has like defeated essentially 2 full sides. This kind of weird lake bridge side, and the one that initially assaulted it. But you can see here, nice shots in the back for the Rusty Heirs. That was like a sniper shot on that guy. And so yeah, you can see him smartly falling back. But he is going to send his Thane forward to kind of slow me down. I'm going to send in my nasty Skulkers. And yeah, he's not going to do very well in this fight. He's going to do fine. But really, he'd rather be getting into some Savage Orcs or something like that. That doesn't have as much armor-piercing damage. But my Spider is going to come back. I'm going to fight this Thane as he's getting stabbed in the back. I'm just going to walk over him, Spider. I'm not going to attack him. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. And yeah, he's going to be terrified. So we're going to finish him off real quick. You can see my Spider's very low health. He's definitely not good. I still have, I think, all 5 of my Spiders at this point, though. So that is an ace up my sleeve. Over here, I caught his Flame Cannon with some Savage Orcs, but it didn't have any ammo anyways. So it wasn't as big of a deal as I thought. And so you can see here all of my forces converging straight on this fight. His Organ Gun opening fire as I spawn some Spiders in there. His Thunder is in the back line, I like that. But my Rusty Heirs or my Night Goblins, I guess, are shooting at these Longbeards. They're going to do okay in shooting there. But I definitely need to keep my Spider safe. I can't let them just get eaten alive by these Thunderers. So I will be spawning some more Spiders back here to stop them from firing as my main line. Still using fodder troops like Nasty Skulkers. Trying to save these really, really slow Black Orcs for a late game, even though they're all now exhausted. And so yeah, these Longbeards, there's just too few of them in the units at this point. Is Coiler out of ammo? Oh boy, it's definitely a good use of Coilers there. If you use all your ranged troops' ammo, there's not really much else you can ask as a dwarf. And here we go as the green tide washes over these orcs here that remain on this side of the battlefield. Gonna abandon their organ guns, run for their lives, which is like, you know, a pretty good move, I think, at this point. Oh boy. Yeah, so this is just kind of a cleanup operation. He's still got some Slayers over here, but he is going to be falling back with them. And I'm just going to now ignore these troops. I need to make it back towards the center here for the final assault. And you can see the balance of power bar slightly in my favor. troop count definitely in my favor, but he's got some super elite units here. Oh, actually, the last thing my shaman did with the last of his mana was, while my other troops were busy elsewhere, I cast an overcast Foot of Gork here on these Norgrimling's Iron Breakers, and you can see I did a ton of damage here. Well, not a ton, but like a fourth of their health with a little sneaky Foot of Gork. And that's going to be very important for late game. Didn't kill any models, but anything I can do to kind of weaken these guys up early on. And this huge blocky formation was definitely a lure for that. But upgraded Foot of Gork, very expensive spell. You can see he's still got his gyrocopters here. He's still got 2 cannons, 2 coilers, 2 rangers, some routed units like this Grumbling Guard with the anti-fatigue aura. He's got the Norgrimling's Iron Breakers, and he's got the Peak Gate Guard Hammerers, as well as his lore. And so he's got a lot of troops here, plus a very, very favorable location. And you can see there's one massive ramp here that I'll be trying to use, as well as a kind of sneaky side hill where you can come up and attack. So those are my kind of 2 avenues. As long as I can avoid the cannons killing my spiders, and I can get my Black Orcs into combat without taking too much coiler fire, I think I have a chance. You can see my Orc Shaman over here. Everything now at this point is very tired. This is a huge map. Takes so long to get anywhere. Grimgor is like the height of like 12 of those goblins. You can see here I'm walking them right now, but I'm going to be running them here shortly. Just like a column of Black Orcs. We should try and figure out how many Black Orcs I have left. I have like 2 full units here. Where do I have more? Like a full unit there, half unit here, full unit there. So I've got like 4.5, I guess, 4.5 units of Black Orcs, which is a ton of Black Orcs. But they are exhausted, and they're going to be fighting fresh troops when they get to the top of the hill. You can see I kind of paused everyone to let these Black Orcs run, or waddle, fast, I think is the more appropriate term. And so here we are, we're going to fast forward. One thing that does happen is silly of me, as I move these trolls in to try and take out this unit over here, but I'm just going to run straight into some gyrocopter fire, and then more importantly some cannon fire, and that's going to instantly rout my trolls here. And then he's just going to use the gyrocopters to go ahead and run them down and shatter them. So definitely a powerful unit between the regeneration, lots of health. That would be useful for the final battle, but I got a little overeager, and they're going to be taken off the field. Some cannons opening fire on my Black Orcs, and now I'm going to move everything up. I'm pretty confident that at this point the Black Orcs will be far enough ahead that I'll have some Black Orcs when the engagement first starts. And I'm going to try and save my Ragnarok Spider and get her in right here somewhere, so she can start dropping spiders without fear of dying to these cannons. And so, big thing here for me, I don't know if this was some sort of glitch or something, or like these Black Orcs got out of line of sight. These cannons are going to be moving away from their perfect firing position at my approaching force. You definitely don't want to click targets with these guys, I think, on a hill like this. You just want to let them fire at will. And they'll choose targets that they can hit, and then stuff like this won't happen. And this can be a big deal. A number of volleys for a very, 1,600 gold here, could make the difference, especially against Black Orcs. But you can see here, I'm going to be able to, I don't know, just get lucky here. And these cannons are not going to be firing as I approach. You can see them just kind of waddling around. But he's got his rangers, his coilers and his rangers in a nice position. So as my Black Orcs approach, they're going to be shot in the side by all these coilers. so even though they are armored, they are still going to take a pretty good amount of damage there from the Rangers. Over here you can see I'm pushing up on this side, as again more quarrelers are opening fire. I do spawn some spiders, some on his Rangers, some on his cannons, and these Rangers here, these quarrelers. So anything I can do to stop this from happening. And so these Iron Breakers, my stream of meat shield infantry is going to be running up this hill, just trying to wear these guys out a little bit, prevent my Black Orcs from taking any charges, and they're just going to decimate all this low armor infantry. And you can see almost instantly shattering as they hit the Iron Breaker line. You can see my Black Orcs still pretty far down, my Spiders in support. I do have my 2 Goblin Big Bosses on this side, and I've got Grimgore coming up on this side with the Orc Shaman. So this is kind of going to be the killing blow for the distraction that is this side. You can see opening fire on my Spiders. They are not going to live very long. There's a lot of fire pouring down on this, but luckily it's mostly not armor piercing, which is a good idea for a hill like this. Thunderers are just going to have a really hard time firing, whereas something like a Quarreler or Ranger is going to be able to fire no matter kind of the arc. So definitely like this pick of Quarrelers and Rangers as the final fallback point. You can see here my Rusty Airs firing at the Gyrocopter that has more ammo, as my Spiders engage the line and the Black Orcs follow behind them. So you can see there are no charges got off on my Black Orcs, which is exactly what I was hoping for. So now my force is kind of reaching up around this side with Grimgore. Where is he? Where is he? Huh. I hear him. Say my name. Oh, there he is. Okay. And Grimgore is going to be coming up this hill, and you can see he's deployed these Peak Gate Guard, and they're actually going to be very good against my the Ragnarok Queen. Tons of armor piercing damage here, and the Armor Sundering is going to help the ranged units do what they need to do. Over here, you can see his reinforcements are coming back. The ones I finished off earlier looped all the way around, and they're going to be coming around here, so that it will be something to watch out for. Luckily, my Rusty Ears are pretty much out of ammo at this point, so I don't mind too much what happens to them. You can see some Black Orcs, some more reinforcements still coming in, and some Savage Orcs here. Mismicroed, left in the trees. As the Nordgrimling's Ironbreakers just hold so much. I beat through them with 2 Spiders, 2 Heroes, some Black Orcs, and they're just going to hold. And it's going to prevent me from doing what I need to do with my my Black Orcs here on this side. You can see 2 full units of Black Orcs are just not going to be able to do very much. You can see finally my second hero route, so there's no more encouraged support for this side of the battle. But he does bring his hero down here to kind of slow me down. But this Lord is going to get eaten alive by Grimgore and Gitsnick. That plus 36% armor piercing damage, the plus 58 attack, and he has no chance. So you can see already doing a ton of damage, especially when supported by nasty Skulkers and Black Orcs. Up here, I sent some Savage Orcs and my kind of faster infantry to get into these ranged troops. The Apex Loonies, you can see, that's why I sent them over here, because they don't have any armor piercing damage, so they're going to do better against Slayers, whereas the Warlord's boys are going to do better against Quarrelers with their armor sundering. So that was kind of my idea there. As my Black Orcs catch up, I wanted to stop as much firing as possible. I have nothing to get to this final cannon and this final Ranger, and I'm just going to have to trust that I can beat through the enemy line. You can see the Peak Gate Guard Hammerers are going to rout off my nasty Skulkers and turn their attention to my Black Orcs. As these Iron Breakers continue to hold out, tossing a ton of charges. Wow! Just an amazing shot there from the satchel charges. As the Iron Breakers kind of reform, you can see they are slowly wearing through them, but not fast enough. Grimgore over here, chasing down the Lord. He's wavering. And there, with the charge from the Orc Shaman, he's going to break. And I'm just going to let my Orc Shaman chase him around as I turn Grimgore into the back of these Peak Gate Guard. I need to get these guys off the field ASAP. You can see some Slayers coming in back here, rout my and slaughter my Rusty Airs. And they're going to rear charge my Black Orcs. Luckily, they do not have too much armor-piercing damage. I break off one of these Black Orcs to come charge these Iron Breakers because I see what's happening, and I don't want these guys to rout off the field from being sandwiched. Yeah, and finally I get through these Peak Gate Guard, and my Savage Orcs are going to be running up the hill with Grimgore to kind of finish these guys off. Finally, my 8 Peaks Loonies get through the Rangers, and I'm going to keep them moving on as my Warlord boys fall apart. My Savage Orcs are going to come support, and more importantly, Grimgore. And here you can kind of see the last stand of the Iron Breakers against just the horde of Black Orcs. You can see being charged, there's like, I don't know how many Black Orcs this is, but I think 3, so that's 3,300 gold there that was sandwiching these Iron Breakers, and they held for like that long. It's just incredible. Great unit there. And just from army losses here, these dwarves are going to rout. But this is Grimgore's favorite part, is stabbing these stunties in the back, taking their elvish city from them. And so it's going to be a very, very close game here. Definitely one of the most powerful things I have left is Grimgore. But, you know, these Slayers holding out on the hill. As the final ones of these guys fall, this death blow, it's going to be a Pyrrhic victory. Definitely very close. And I definitely think if those cannons had not glitched out there, that would have been a much closer fight. If he could have done some damage to those Black Orcs as they approached, he did start opening a couple of volleys on the first one that went through, but after that, the cannons were silenced. And so I definitely think that could have flipped that battle in his favor. Even a couple shots to Grimgore would have done a ton of damage. So you can see here, Grimgore actually not getting very many kills. 23, he spent most of his time running around. 112, you can see just the Nasty Skulkers and the Black Orcs kind of doing well across the board. My Archers really didn't do very well. The Rusty Airs did alright. But I mostly had these guys for scouting anyways. I would probably just bring regular Goblin Archers next time. I was hoping the poison, I'd have some good side shots to inflict poison, but in this match, I didn't really have the opportunity. You can see that one spider shoved up twice, doing some good work there, and even the Ragnarok Queen doing okay. But you generally expect more kills from these guys, but they were kind of singled out by a ton of organ guns and cannon fire. 146 here on these Apex Loonies, pretty good. Yeah, kind of just general kills across the board here. Everybody doing pretty well. 104 on these Longbeards, 171 on these Slayers, that's amazing. 218 on the Peak Gate Guard, holy crap. And 150 on these Iron Breakers. Definitely powerhouse units right there. 100 on the Grudge Thrower. 90 on the Gyrocopter is actually pretty good. I like bringing these guys in a siege just because you have a little bit of a cavalry force. Especially with the greenskins when you're decently sure they won't contest the skies with you. 166 on this organ gun, 195, 140. Oh wow. You don't usually see flame cannons pay for themselves, but they were just so well protected in that choke point that like holy. This flame cannon was probably the one that I shut down on Grimgore's side pretty early on with my Orc Shaman. Anyway, so great game to Wordbearer. I had a ton of fun on this one. I uploaded it before, but the sound was out. So I waited a couple days and then just decided to retake a look at the battle, and man, it just gets epicer every time. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and that's that.